The deadly Southern Plains wildfires continue to rage. Lawmakers consider a teacher pay raise but have no money to fund it, and a big pot bust on I-44. This is OU Nightly. Scorching wildfires continue for thousands of square miles across parts of 4 states, claiming at least 6 lives.
Hundreds of families have been uprooted by the wind-whipped walls of fire as they move across the Oklahoma-Texas panhandle, parts of Colorado and Kansas. The flames have sent a thick blanket of smoke across the Central Plains skies. The worst of the damage is in Kansas, where more than 1,000 square miles have been torched. Fire officials believe it is the largest wildfire in the state's history. To the south, 3 uncontrollable wildfires in the Texas Panhandle have charred nearly 750 square miles. Here in Oklahoma, fed by parched conditions and fierce winds, the inferno has blackened more than 540 square miles. Crews continue trying to extinguish these devastating flames, but the wildfires are just too powerful.
The fire continues to burn and has not been contained.
It's still uncertain what sparked the raging wildfires, but they have now reached a point where they have caused fear and terror among families and residents.
Scary thought of losing your house, losing your loved ones.
And Governor Mary Fallin has declared a state of emergency for 22 counties due to wildfires across the state. Under the executive order, state agencies can make emergency purchases and acquisitions to expedite the delivery of resources. It's also the first step towards seeking federal aid. The executive order is in effect for 30 days and could be amended to include additional counties.
It's no surprise Oklahoma fire departments are all on high alert. OU Nightly's Ashley Brown has more on the different ways departments respond.
When the call for help comes out, firemen throw on their gear and respond. But during times of high fire danger, small, mostly volunteer departments like Blanchard have to be careful where they send their limited resources.
So being at Blanchard, we're a smaller fire department. We have 3 full-time firefighters and 21 volunteers.
With smoke watering their eyes and burnt grass covering their faces, firefighters battle until the end, even if that means coming home from work and then going to fight fires.
Thing from local members that work here in town that just leave their job and they're able to come and respond to calls, to those of us that work out of this town that leave work from the city and come back home when it's time for us to fight fires.
Mutual aid agreements with surrounding cities are what these small towns rely on and are almost always used when a grass fire call comes out.
Them to go to 280th and see if they can make access from the north side in case it jumps this creek.
So if fires get going during the daytime hours and we run out of resources, we start calling for mutual aid. That usually consists of manpower, brush pumpers, and tankers.
According to the U.S. Drought Monitor, almost the entire state is covered in drought, this making the conditions for wildfires even higher. For the first time, the Oklahoma Forestry Services has put out a fuels and fire behavior advisory for most of the state.
It sets the stage as an awareness that we need to be prepared for the potential.
The potential that even a chain dragging the ground can cause a spark and kick up a wildfire.
Things we can do is prevent fires from even getting started. We send out communications via social media explaining that it's very high fire danger. Either be very, very careful with outdoor burning or don't do any burning at all.
On windy, high fire danger days, keep in mind not to throw cigarettes out the window or do any type of outdoor burning, anything that could create a spark. Ashley Brown, OU Nightly.
It's estimated that between 200,000 and 300,000 acres in Oklahoma have burned this week alone.
It's clear from all the flames that much of Oklahoma is suffering from dry, late winter conditions. Combining that with high winds brings a dangerous situation. Several Oklahoma counties have been placed on burn ban because of those conditions. Cleveland County continues its ban along with Oklahoma County, Tulsa County, and several more. And here are some of the best ways to help prevent wildfires. First, obey burn bans. Properly put out and discard cigarettes, and don't park cars on grass. Busy week for our Oklahoma meteorologists.
Absolutely, Sammy. Hopefully, these winds are going to die down so we can get these fires under control.
I hope so.
Sawyer, can you tell us anything good news with those fires?
We got a little bit of good news. This right here real quick is a photo of that fire from one of the NASA satellites. It's just north of Harper County, right on the Oklahoma-Kansas border. Luckily, we do have some changes coming in store. We'll have some gusty ones tonight, and tomorrow it's looking like, but we still will be above normal. But we do have a wet weekend ahead with the system moving through, and I'll talk more about that in Maine weather. Until then, back to you.
Joseph Quinton is in the news center with more on reactions from yesterday's health care reform. Joseph?
Well, Sammy, House Republicans' plan to replace Obamacare is out, and a barrage of comments are following it. After the plan was released, politicians and people shared conflicting thoughts on the condensed plan. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer responded to the criticism by saying this.
By removing the mandate of a government-mandated, you must buy this program or you will pay a penalty, and eliminating choice, we are enacting, I think, very strong conservative values.
And 4 senior citizens were killed earlier today after a charter bus was struck by a train in Mississippi. The bus was carrying senior citizens from the Austin, Texas area to various casinos when it got stuck trying to cross train tracks. Passengers attempted to escape, but it was struck before they could and left 41 injured. National officials are currently investigating to determine why the bus stalled. And from Belarus to the Bay Area, women around the world stood in solidarity to shatter glass ceilings as a part of International Women's Day. They're calling it a day without women, and hundreds of schools and workplaces closed for the day. People gathered to protest issues dealing with the wage gap and equal rights. And the FBI director said he's serving his full term and that we're stuck with him for the next 6 years.
Thanks, Joseph. A glimmer of hope. State Treasurer Ken Miller says in February, gross revenue rose slightly. The state brought in $759.5 million, up 0.1% from February 2016. Miller says this indicates a marginally improving economy.
Oklahoma public school teachers are halfway to solving the budget crisis problem and seeing an increase in pay. The Oklahoma House of Representatives has pledged a $316 million raise to teachers, but that's just half the battle. The next step will be finding the money to pay for it. Earlier today, the House approved a measure that could add about $20 million a year to the education budget for education, but not necessarily on teacher raises.
Obviously, a budget is a big concern for us, but right there with the budget, a 1A would be teacher pay raise. We know that statistics shows that if you want to improve educational outcomes, it starts with a teacher. So.
Education in Oklahoma might be hitting the lottery. That's if proposed House Bill 1837 passes. Monday, the Oklahoma Education Coalition endorsed the bill that over the next 5 years would increase Oklahoma's lottery's contribution to education in the state by $110 million. Since 2005, the Oklahoma Lottery's contribution to Oklahoma education has topped $750 million.
Still ahead on OU Nightly, how hand sanitizer could make your kids sick.
Plus, Oklahoma County deputies find a little something extra during a routine traffic stop.
Welcome back. Hand sanitizers keep kids germ-free, but kids can mistake the bright-colored package for food or candy. Between 2011 and 2014, the nation's poison control centers took more than 65,000 kids who ingested alcohol-based hand sanitizers to help prevent poisoning. The CDC suggests keep hand sanitizers out of kids' reach, have them use only a dime-size amount, and make sure they wipe their hands dry. Also from the CDC, an E. coli alert linked to I Am Healthy brand soy nut butter. I Am Healthy products this year have been linked to 16 cases for E. coli in 9 states. The business has recalled all soy nut butter and all varieties of its granola products. Officials say if you have the product, seal it in a bag and throw it away. And public health officials say the number of U.S. babies born with syphilis is rising. In 2 years, congenital syphilis has increased 6%. Preliminary studies show rates of the illness went up another 4% last year. Congenital syphilis is present in babies at birth. And guys, going back to that earlier story, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't eat any hand sanitizer, so
yeah, I don't think I've ever done that either.
So mom and dad did a good job.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Eric.
The Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office turned a routine I-44 traffic stop into a major drug bust. Deputies pulled over a semi-truck presumably loaded with produce, but for dangerous driving. But looking inside among the lettuce and other veggies, 500 pounds of pot. And that pot is worth a lot of cabbage, a street value pushing $200,000. Also inside the truck, the deputies found and arrested 2 suspects.
Sounds like a real cannabis, Sammy. Still ahead on OU Nightly, the Sooner baseball team puts its 12-game win streak on the line last night.
Plus, Sawyer Wells has a look at the weather.
I'll let you know about these cooler temperatures right after this. We saw that wildfire just north of the Oklahoma border, and now this is a fire that's burning throughout Florida, down on the very southern tip of Florida, and just wreaking all kinds of havoc. And unfortunately, it's kind of the story in Florida, here in Oklahoma, and even in Kansas. So just a lot of wildfires going on. Currently, though, right now with the winds outside, it's really nice. We've got the south winds. They are a little gusty, but because those wildfires off to the north and winds are out of the south, we don't have any smoke over normal, which is nice. So current conditions outside right now, though, 73 degrees. We got some clouds in the sky right now. The south-southwest winds at 17 miles per hour, and our dew point's low, so it's not muggy outside, which is always a good one. So current temps across right now, 73 degrees up in Tulsa and Norman. And our lows tonight, we're going to get a little cooler. We got a cold front that'll be moving through as we go on into the weekend. But so we'll be down in the upper 40s, maybe some lower 50s, especially down to the south. And then highs tomorrow, much the same today. We'll be in the upper 70s across most of the entire area. And now we're going to talk about that system that's supposed to move through. So we got a cold front to our north, and that's going to be dropping to the south. And we may have a few spotty showers, mainly in northeastern Oklahoma up in Green Country. This is Thursday afternoon. And then as we move on to the Friday, that cold front's going to move through, drop temperatures again. And then that's going to help bring some moisture up out of the south. And now Saturday morning, early mornings, when we're looking at those showers starting to become more widespread across the area. And so that'll be in Norman. And now, of course, move on off to our south and east, even some snow up in parts of Missouri and northern Arkansas. So pretty crazy, especially this time of year in March. So our 7-day, though, 77 on tomorrow, 66 on Friday, and then those rain chances do increase 70% on Saturday, and then we'll start to cool back down. We'll be in the upper 50s and lower 60s, so we'll be more back to normal temperatures. We won't be in the 80s and 70s, so that's nice.
Thanks, Sawyer.
No problem.
Big job interviews today for a handful of former OU football players. Blakely Durham is standing by with more on that. Blakely?
Thanks, Carson. Today, OU football held their annual pro day, and a few Sooners stood out above the rest. Running back Joe Mixon finally got his time to shine. We'll tell you how he did coming up next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Earlier today, OU held its annual pro day at Everest Training Center. NFL scouts traveled all the way to Norman to see running back Joe Mixon. Mixon was not invited to the NFL Combine, but had a chance to showcase his talent today. The running back ran a 4.43 40 time, the second best of the day behind wide receiver Dede Westbrook. Only 3 other running backs at the NFL Combine had a better time than Mixon. Mixon also benched an impressive 21 reps. Another prominent Sooner not invited to the Combine is Jordan Evans. Evans was looking to impress today after a great senior season at OU. He ran a 4.5 40 time, which is the second best time compared to linebackers at the NFL Combine. Evans talked about how not receiving an invite to the Combine actually helped him motivate even more.
I understood. I wasn't going to hang my head too low over it. I was going to use it for motivation. Because I'm very competitive and I just want to compete against some of the best guys in the nation. And, when I didn't get that invite, I just knew how to write my story a little bit differently.
The baseball team's 12-game winning streak was snapped last night in a tough loss to Wichita State. The Shockers out-hit the Sooners 6-4, scoring a total of 4 runs. The Sooners struggled from the plate, which is uncharacteristic for this team so far this season. After a 4-hour game, OU finally fell 4-2. Coach Pete Hughes talked about the Sooners' off night.
So we didn't get enough hits. I thought we pitched well enough to win, but they did a good job. We didn't get enough hits today, and Wichita State did a good job with 2 outs all night long.
The men's basketball team will play in their first game of the Big 12 tournament against TCU tonight at 6 p.m. Speaking of Oklahoma basketball, Russell Westbrook set a career high in last night's Thunder versus Trailblazers game. Westbrook scored 58 points last night, making 21 of 39 shots. Not only that, but the Thunder scored a total of 121 points, meaning Westbrook alone was just one bucket shy of scoring half the team's points. But unfortunately for the Thunder, Westbrook's historic performance was somehow not enough, and they fell 126 to 121. Another scoring machine, Dirk Nowitzki, made NBA history last night. Nowitzki needed just 20 points to be the 6th NBA player ever to score 30,000 points, and he did it very early in the first half. Dallas fans went wild when he hit the 20-point mark, and coach Rick Carlisle called a timeout to let the legend enjoy his moment. Nowitzki scored a near-season high 25 points in his historic performance, and the Mavs rolled over the Lakers 122 to 111. It's Wine Wednesday, everybody, and time for our Whiner of the Week. I just talked about Dirk and the Mavs, but what about owner Mark Cuban? Cuban came out and said that Russell Westbrook is not in the mix for MVP. He claims the race is between James Harden and LeBron James, not Westbrook. The same Russell Westbrook, who has a historic 30 triple-doubles in one season and still counting, and just scored a career-high 51 points in one game. No diss to Harden or James, but for Cuban to say that Westbrook isn't even in the mix for MVP is outrageous and ignorant. And I think Mark Cuban may have had one too many glasses of wine when he was saying that.
Yeah,
that's just crazy.
I agree. Big whiner.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you, Blakely. Still to come on OU Nightly, OU's very own Beethoven is gracing the ears of residents living in Kate Center. More on that next.
I'm Abby Green at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Oklahoma legislators could allow citizens to take down drones flying over their personal property. Senator Ralph Shorty sponsored the bill. It protects property owners from civil liability if they damage them flying over their property, but it offers no protection from relevant criminal charges. The bill was passed out of the committee and could be heard by the full Senate within the next 2 weeks. That's all for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Abby. There are several pianos around the OU campus, but there is only one baby grand. Nightly's Courtney Kirby talks to one of the many pianists who visit the Kate Baby Grand.
Anna Salstrom is a senior at OU, but she isn't a music major.
I'm a letters major with pre-pharmacy, so I'm going to pharmacy school in the fall.
Salstrom has taken piano lessons as a non-major throughout college.
Well, part of it was like stress relief because I enjoyed it so much, and I didn't want to give it up after, doing piano since I was 5. I wanted to continue learning, continue playing, or else I'd lose it. I mean, there's a lot of people who say that they played piano like when they're younger, but then they don't play it anymore. So I didn't want to do that.
There are plenty of upright pianos and practice rooms around the university, but Kate has the only baby grand.
First of all, this piano is the most in tune compared to the other things. Other ones around campus, and the practice facilities are really far away. So I'm a little bit lazy, and so I'd rather just do it here in the mornings. And it's also a nice baby grand, so it's beautiful.
She is practicing 3 pieces for her piano class, but she has other past favorites too.
This is a Beethoven Sonata, number 1 in F minor. Then I'm doing a prelude by Schubert, or Schumann, I think, Schumann, and then a rag by Chopin, called Solace.
Her favorite piece is Debussy Arabesque number 1, and she can still play it from memory. Piano music will continue to be a part of her life, even in pharmacy school. Courtney Kirby, OU Nightly.
The pianos around campus and at Kate are available for any students to play.
That's going to be nice if you're, living in Kate, just walk down the stairs, go to class, and you got a little piano playing.
Yeah, a little tune.
Yeah, it's a nice way to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And tonight, we're looking at some nice conditions. Winds are going to start to die down 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the south. And we're going to cool down, but we'll still be relatively nice, mild, 52 by midnight or so. So overall, it's really nice.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Sawyer. Thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.